morning and welcome to today's webinar where we're going to be talking about SalesRabbit digital contracts. I will be your webinar host for today. My name is Sean Huckstep and I'm the VP of Sales here at SalesRabbit. We're really excited about the progress that we've made in launching the ability to digitally accept signatures right within the SalesRabbit app. Many companies out there are doing digital contracts, and this is becoming much more of a standard functionality that many sales teams and sales reps desire and almost require to a certain level. We're going to be doing a light overview of our digital contracts, from how to set it up to how it works within our mobile app, how your reps can collect signatures out in the field. I want to make note and everyone aware that there's both a Q&A section on our webinar as well as a chat functionality. Whenever you have a question or need me to clarify something, please feel free to jump in, ask a question through that Q&A or through the chat, and we'll make sure we go through this. I'm going to go ahead and send out just a quick poll to everyone. You should see this poll pop up on your screen. It's a brief 4-question, very simple survey. I just want to get an understanding of who's on the call today, who's familiar with SalesRabbit, potentially already using it, clients of ours, who's getting a first interaction and understanding of what SalesRabbit is. And it's something that you've been looking into for quite some time and considering maybe getting this year for your sales team and really scaling up your systems and processes. So I'll leave that poll up there for another minute or two while everyone gets a chance to actually take that survey. And question at the bottom, number 4 is what I'm actually most interested in. I want to understand who's actually using digital contracts today and who's not. So far, I'm seeing coming through the poll, there's about 50% of you that are currently using digital contracts, and the other 50% of you aren't. And that's okay. That's pretty common that we see. Even though digital contracts has made a big wave from a tech standpoint, and many companies are introducing digital contracts into their tech stack to simplify entering in data, getting it to their office admins, getting it into their CRMs. We want to simplify as much as possible, and that's really our goal with SalesRabbit. For those of you that aren't interested or haven't seen SalesRabbit for the first time, I just want to give you a quick insight into who we are as a company. We're the largest field sales mobile solution in the world. We work in over 120 plus different countries, managed billions of leads and systems. As we've already put our digital contract in beta over the last couple of months, we've already had over 1 million digital contracts signed, submitted through our platform. And so it's making great traction. A lot of people are really enjoying and loving the experience that we're able to give. The reason why digital contracts are so important for those of you that don't have it quite yet within your sales tech stack, I want to give some quick insight. Really, the reason being is we want to make it so easy for your reps to sign up customers and to get that data, pass that information to where they need it to go, and reduce the amount of errors that are actually happening because people can't read other people's handwritings. We see reps all the time take pictures of the contract with sensitive information and try and text or email that into their office staff. And so there's just a lot of things that can happen, and it can create a lot of chaos, especially in one of the most crucial points of the sales conversation where you're actually signing someone up and collecting all of their data, payment info. Sometimes you're collecting social security information, all that. And so it's important that you have a really good process that's going to go for all the way from A to Z in your entire sales cycle. And one of the things that SalesRabbit focuses on now really is this forms and contracts piece. This is obviously a newer thing that we've recently launched and made it accessible to all of our clients. And it's what we're going to dive in today. So for those of you that use SalesRabbit already, you'll be familiar with our interface and you'll be understand our systems. I'm going to go ahead and simultaneously showcase my mobile device, which I'm using an iPad up here on the screen, as well as our web app interface. So the web app is really where you're going to go and build out your digital contracts. It's where you're going to set up and configure what you want to have happen once that digital contract gets submitted. And so we're going to go through both scenarios in what that looks like. And so first, I'm going to direct your attention over to our mobile app. Obviously, SalesRabbit is a very heavy map-based solution where you can come in here, you can see all of your leads up on the map, you can map out territories. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to actually just drop a pin on a house right here. When I click on that pin, there's no information associated with this as of right now. I'll click on the pin, it pulls up that card at the bottom of the screen. On the right side is a little pencil edit icon. I'm going to tap my finger on that. This is going to pull me into the lead detail or that profile record. This is where I'll be able to go in and actually collect information. So first name, last name, phone number. I'm just entering in some test data. Anytime you actually enter in data, we're validating that information within our system. So you notice when I entered in an invalid phone number, it puts a red box around it. That means that we need to actually go through and put in correct information. So that way we have valid phone numbers, emails, etc. So I'm just going to get you test at salesrabbit.com. And there's also custom fields down here at the bottom that you can build out or create. And essentially anything that's on this lead detail page, whether it's standard contact information, meaning name, phone number, email, address, or any custom fields that you may build out, whether you're in the roofing or solar, pest control, home improvement, insurance, telco, you can add whatever custom fields you want to really customize the experience and also make a specific place for your reps to enter in data. Then once we gather some of that basic information, you can come over here into forms. You can build out as many digital contracts or different forms that you want to support your sales process. When you actually subscribe to SalesRabbit's digital contract, we don't limit how many digital contracts you can actually create. So it's unlimited digital contracts, unlimited submissions within a given month, and you're just paying a small user subscription fee for everyone to have access to this feature. Now I'm going to go ahead and go into the digital contract and its contingency form. You'll see that it's already auto-populated certain information about that lead or that record that we've already collected. The nice part about this is that it eliminates duplicate data entry for a lot of your team. And it just speeds up that data collection process. So I've built out a few custom fields just for demo purposes today. This isn't a really in-depth contract by any means. If we need to vet out what you're currently using from a digital contract perspective, make sure everything's going to transfer over and be really smooth in SalesRabbit. I'm more than happy to connect with any of you on the call to make sure we're going to support all the various things that you do in digital contracts. But just to give you an overview and a feel for it, I'm going to go ahead and just insert some of this information. Again, I'm just putting in some fake data here, so don't get too hung up on what I'm entering in and all the details here. But just be aware of what I'm doing. Any of these fields on this form you can make required or not required. And you'll see that as we actually get into where you build out the digital contracts on the web app. I'm first just going through the experience that a rep is going to have in the field. Then we're going to go into walking through how to actually build it and set it up. Both are very easy to use and to do. So I'd enter in all this information in the top right corner. I would click sign. And now what it's doing in the background is actually taking that data that we filled out on the form, and it's pre-populating it over into your actual digital contract. So this is simply just a PDF that we uploaded into SalesRabbit. We mapped all the fields where we wanted it to go, and now we're pushing that over here onto this. And if there's additional fields here, maybe we want to collect, sensitive information on the actual form. We want to have them initialed next to pricing. We want to tweak the pricing, whatever it is. You can also add and adjust fields here on the fly in digital contracts. But how you would actually sign is down there at the bottom. You click on that sign, it will pop it up, and you can use your finger or a keyboard, or you can even take a picture to actually add a signature in there. Generally speaking, most people just use their finger, and right there on the device, they would sign their name, hit the insert button, and now we've just collected that customer signature. You'll notice at the box, it says, as a part of our user interface, you've completed all the required fields. At the top, please click continue. And so we're trying to guide a user through this experience. And then they're going to essentially agree to submit this contract electronically. This is very standard legal language across any digital contract platform that you're going to be using, whether it's SalesRabbit or another system you guys have already been using and implemented within your tech stack. You'll then select I agree, and your document's been submitted. It makes it really simple, really easy to do. And as soon as you submit that agreement, a few things happen. One, all of that data, including the PDF of that signed agreement, we can push over into your CRM or to an email or wherever you want that to go. So that way your reps aren't having to take pictures of it. They're not having to go in at nighttime and enter in all that data again into your CRM. This just keeps the whole sales process flowing very seamlessly. As well as we're also going to send out a copy to the customer. So they're going to have a copy of this digital contract via email. We can send a copy to the rep if you choose to do that. And then we can also CC anyone else that you want on this agreement. We see a lot of companies will add an office admin or a generic office email to notify someone as soon as a digital contract has been submitted. The other thing that I didn't go through that we also offer on digital contract submission is actually sending out these contracts via email for people to sign remotely. Especially with COVID happening in 2020, we're seeing a lot of sales companies do things more remotely. And so if your rep goes into SalesRabbit, they enter in all the information, they can easily click a button, send that contract remotely to the customer's email. Customer would fill it out via email, and then the rep could get a notification as soon as that contract is signed to then either schedule the service or have the product delivered, whatever the next steps are in the fulfillment side of your business. So that's a really quick introduction into the user interface of how SalesRabbit will be able to facilitate your contract signing experience, whether that's sending them remotely or signing in person. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over into the actual interface to set up and build out these different digital contracts. So when you log into SalesRabbit, you come to your settings, you're going to see this format. I'll go ahead and zoom in just a hair so it's a little bit bigger for you on your end. We'll come into our form builder. And this is essentially where we first build the form to identify all of the data that you need to collect that's ultimately going to be on your digital contract. So in the top right corner, I'm going to go ahead and create a new form. and just give it a second for it to load. And then I can rename this form here in the top left corner. I'll just do webinar test digital contract. Then what we have here is going to create the different sections and add in all of the details that you want. So to help organize the collection of information. So, and what I mean by the collection of information is when we're in the mobile app and you come into forms and you select digital contracts, you'll see right here in the mobile app, there's general information, insurance information, and pricing. So we can create these different sections in our web app by saying, contact information. And then what I want to do is I want to come to my lead fields and say, I want to pass over the first name and last name. And we're just going to drag and drop all of this information over. And you'll see some of the standard data that we're collecting. I'm not going to go through and build out everything, but it gives you an idea of what to do here. And then if we have, want to add a section here, and maybe this is our product selection, then you can come in and we can even add in additional custom fields in here. Or if you want to create a form field that's very specific to this form, we can even come in here and create drop downs or multi-select pick lists, toggles, whatever you would like to add in here, we can do. And then you can customize this to however you need to do that. Then you'll be able to actually make any of these fields required or not required. And so you can just select any of these and say, this field is required. I want to require first name, last name, phone, and email. And then again, any of these drop downs, if we want to say, what product they're selecting, and then if we want to in the drop down, we can do, product option 1. You can add additional field. And so all of this will be available for your reps to select out in the field. So you'll build out all these digital contracts. And then what we'll do to change it from a form and actually add a signature piece to it, we're going to make it and turn it into digital contracts. So we're going to hit new right up here. We'll hit publish and continue. And what this does is it makes that form go live into the system. And then this is where we're going to upload our PDF version of our digital contracts. I'm going to go ahead and just grab one and come over and drag it and drop that PDF right here, or I can search for it on my computer. You can then select who will sign the agreement. So some companies just want the customer to sign it. Some companies want both the customer and the rep sign it. And so you can actually select both signatures. You can even require a signature order and say we want our sales rep to sign it first or second, and just move those signing orders. And then we'll hit continue. And then it will give us a preview of that digital contract. And this is where we're going to then start creating our template. And so we're going to identify where we want certain fields to go. So if I wanted a signature, I'm going to grab that signature field and I'm just going to put it right here, and you can make it as big or as small as you want it, and put that in there. If you had initials on your agreement and we want initial next to pricing, we could add an initial. And then here on the right side, again, you can identify whether you want the customer filled out, the sales reps to fill it out, whether it's required, yes or no. And then we can add in all of the other information. So again, if I wanted to put in full name, I could add in all of these different fields right here and just continue to build this out. Email. And so you can see it's a very simple drag and drop. There's no coding. It doesn't take a lot of computer experience to be able to build out these digital contracts. Plus, as you subscribe to this feature, we also have a full-on support team, account managers that will be here to assist you every step of the way to fully help you build out any of these digital contracts that you need to do. So again, this is where we'd be able to add in any of your custom fields if you wanted to. If we wanted to say what product was, because we built out that custom field, you just drag and drop everything right in here, and then be able to add all that in. Then if we wanted to add additional fields, we'd be able to do that, and you'd just be able to hit save. Now notice I can't hit save because I need to add a date field for it to be signed and complete, where we can auto-populate the day that was actually signed. And then we can change the different formats of the date. So again, all of this you can add in here and just continue to build that out. So hopefully this gives you insight into what this functionality, this feature is. You'll be able to save this, then push it live. So then it would be available in the mobile app for your reps to start collecting digital signatures. I'll go ahead and pause here. I know we quickly went through a lot of the functionality of this feature, but I want to make sure I turn time over to you to ask any questions that may have come up while I've been building out, showcasing the interface of our newly launched digital contract feature. Again, go into the chat box, enter in a question that you have there, or go to the Q&A box and submit your questions there, and I'll be sure to respond to all those questions that come up. For any of you that would like to get digital contracts set up, if you're current customers of ours, feel free to reach out to your account manager or to our support team at support@salesrabbit.com. And we'll make sure we can help you get this new feature enabled on your subscription, as well as help walk you through how to set it up and make sure that it's working well for you. If you're currently using digital contracts, then we can take your digital contracts that you're using another platform and convert it over to SalesRabbit digital contracts and make sure that your reps and teams are having a seamless experience from switching over from one digital contract subscription to the SalesRabbit digital contract. A few questions that came in. How do you get the colors and selections on that PDF? So this yellow color that you see, this is just the PDF that I uploaded. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have your PDF be the colors that you want. If you're uploading your tracks, you can put it all up here. We don't have templated contracts for you to white label or upload your own logo to. So you'll need to come to the table with your own contracts. And we see a lot of companies that will just take their paper contracts, convert that to a digital PDF, and then they'll just upload that in. So it's a very simple process if you don't already have a PDF of your digital contracts to upload in. What does the filling in form look like on client side? We have some older clients that struggle with technology. So if you recall, when I went into the digital contract here in the mobile app, and I'll just pull it up on the screen. If you're sending it to them via email, it's just going to pull up the digital contract very similar to how it would look in the mobile app. And it would just be up on a computer and they'd be able to type in these different fields. The nice thing about it is it's going to actually show your customers what fields they need to fill out. So it helps guide them through that experience, especially if there's older clients that aren't very tech savvy or maybe haven't filled out a digital contract. This is very, very simple to do and to send it remotely. Obviously, if your rep is there in person, collecting that signature, they can help guide them through that experience, and it's very, very simple from an interface perspective. Another question that came in, is digital contract included in all subscriptions? The answer to that is no. Digital contracts is an add-on product or subscription that you can add to your SalesRabbit subscription if you're currently using SalesRabbit. The cost ranges anywhere from $12 per user up to about $15 per user, based on your billing cycle and the current subscription you have. So it makes it's very, very inexpensive for those of you that are currently purchasing digital contracts. We see a lot of companies are paying upwards of $20 to $40 on a per user basis, and sometimes they're even paying on a per contract submission basis. And so we want to make it very simple for you to either upgrade your tech stack from paper to digital, or switch over from what you're currently using to SalesRabbit's digital contract to save costs, and then just keep everything in one platform for it to be really easy for your reps to use. Is it possible to have costs auto-populate based on the product selected so they don't have to manually add it by reps? So as it stands right now, we don't have a very easy interface to do calculations or if-then logic on our digital contracts or agreement. So meaning that when I select a certain product, then it's going to auto-populate all the costs associated with the product. It's not going to do that as of right now. However, through integrations, we've been able to set up that type of interface to where a rep could select the product and then it would showcase all the settings. That's just kind of more advanced than just our basic digital contract setup. We can do it, but it's more a custom solution than it is standard out of box setup with our digital contracts as of today. So great questions. As far as the cost goes, just to repeat that, because I know there's a few questions that came in. If you're a current customer with SalesRabbit and will add digital contracts to your subscription, it's an additional $12 per year if you're paying annually, or if you're paying on a quarterly basis for your subscription, it's an additional $15 per user. So very inexpensive from a digital contract platform setup. And again, if that's something you want to dive deeper into to understand if the digital contracts is going to work for you, or if you want to get set up on our digital contracts, then either one, go to our website, salesrabbit.com, and you can chat with our team through our chat bot and get help in setting up digital contracts, or you can email our support team, which is support@salesrabbit.com. And I'll go ahead and just put that into the chat so that any of you can email into our support team, or you can call us, and I will also put our phone number there in the chat. So be aware, just look at the chat, find that email, find the phone number, feel free to get in contact with us. More than happy to give you a more in-depth one-on-one demo to walk you through how digital contracts will work specifically for your company, for your industry. We'll give you guidance on how other people are using it in your industry. We want to make sure that this is going to be a good move for you, for business, for your team, and really help simplify a lot of the processes that your team is going through in order to submit or sell a new account. Again, thank you so much for being on our webinar today. I'll be on and remain on the line for another minute in case additional questions come through. Otherwise, I just want to thank everyone for your time and joining us today as we're launching our new digital contract platform. We've had great success with this, and excited about launching it. I know a lot of clients are excited about using this. And please feel free to continue to post those questions as they come up. I'll remain on the line as long as we have questions, and then we'll wrap up the webinar for today. So couple questions that came in. Is there a minimum number of reps to sign up? The only thing that we have as far as a requirement is that you need to be on our Pro plan. Our Pro plan has a minimum of 10 users on it. So we need you to purchase 10 users, and then you can add the digital contract subscription to your Pro plan. Again, if you're not currently using SalesRabbit, I would suggest you talk to one of our team members and go through a full demo to show you all of the functionality that SalesRabbit has, how it's going to benefit your team, what value it provides, how it streamlines your sales process for your sales team. And in order to go get in touch with our sales team, again, just go to our website, salesrabbit.com. And then there's a chat function in the lower right corner of our website. You can ask any questions you want to our sales team. They'll be able to help go through all of the pricing with your SalesRabbit subscription. SalesRabbit cost ranges anywhere from $22 on the low end all the way up to about $90 on a per user basis, just depending on what add-ons you get, what subscriptions are. And so we want to make sure that we're teeing up a conversation on a one-on-one basis to go through pricing, because it varies so much from customer to customer based on, again, the products that you want to purchase. David, thank you for the shout out. Glad you guys are already using the digital contracts. Love that it's saving you time and helping you guys close deals. Really appreciate that. And let us know what else we can do to better serve you and your team and company. Another question, does the user who sets up digital contract have to be the same person that uses it on mobile? No, not necessarily. I mean, a lot of times we'll see companies purchase one user for an admin who's really owning the account, customizing it, configuring it for the sales team, and then they'll create a separate user for the sales rep who would actually be using it out in the field. Now, if you can have the same person who's an admin also be sending out agreements and signing agreements. And so all the features within our system are all user based, meaning that you can customize and configure what a person has the ability to do or what they don't have the ability to do. A lot of companies aren't going to give their reps access to build out their own digital contracts because companies want to own that. They want to make sure that all of the right information for a sale to be completed is on the digital contracts. And generally speaking, a company is going to be much more strict and attentive to those details than what a rep would be. But again, if you have more questions or concerns around users and who would use what and how we charge for what user, I get in touch with our team. We can go through that, answer all those personal questions on your pricing and the products that you're going to be leveraging within your SalesRabbit system. All right, well, we'll go ahead and close out the webinar. Again, thank you so much for all of you that attended our webinar today. If you have any additional questions, please go to the chat on this Zoom webinar. You'll be able to see our website, salesrabbit.com. Go to our website, ask our sales team any additional questions. If you want to set up time to do a full demo of our whole entire SalesRabbit platform, have our team walk you through it. Make sure you understand all the different products that we have that are available to you. Please schedule a time with our team. Otherwise, if you're a current client and wanting to set up digital contracts or maybe have an additional question that didn't get answered on today's webinar, you want us to go through our digital contract feature one-on-one, please reach out to our support team, support@salesrabbit.com, or call our support phone number, 801-418-9009, which can be found in the chat. and we'll make sure we connect you with the right people at SalesRabbit to make sure we're helping you guys simplify your sales process, create a better rep experience for your internal employees, which ultimately lead to a better customer experience for those people who are signing up and using your services. Again, thank you so much for joining our webinar today. Appreciate your time and look forward to continuing to serve you. Have a great day.